Exciting start to the championship week, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I try not to talk too much about my teams as we go through the season, but once we get to this point, I'm sorry, you're going to have to hear about them. So I want to go through, show you all the teams that we have gotten through to the Underdog Championship week. Of course, these are tournaments that have hundreds of thousands of teams, not the massive. That one is smaller, but yeah, we enter in a ton of underdog tournaments every single year. Last year, y'all know we won $150,000 by winning the big dog, by winning the Bulldog 2, and by getting 16th place in Basketball Mania. The only person to win multiple season-long tournaments on Underdog Fantasy. You're looking at them right here, ladies and gentlemen. This year, what we are looking at is we have two teams. We have a team in the Mastiff. We have the team in the Chow Chow. Yes, you see that correctly. In the Mastiff right now, we are winning $20,000. And the reason being is we are currently sitting in first place. So there's a chance that we are able to go back-to-back years winning high-stakes tournaments on Underdog Fantasy, which could be extremely exciting. With this team, we had David Njoku, we had Breece Hall, and I believe we had Kareem Hunt. And we also have no dead players. It's a very exciting team. You can find it on Twitter at Mason Dodd FFN if y'all wanted to check that out. But that's enough about me. Let's go ahead and let's talk about what actually happened in the game today and why we are excited. Starting off with the Jets here. Well, Trevor Siemian's bad. We all know that. Breece Hall is very good. We all know that as well. Breece Hall goes out there, has 84 rushing yards. He has 9 receptions out of this backfield. So great day on Underdog where it's at PBR, but especially if you're playing in a full PBR format, you are freaking pumped about what Breece Hall just got you. I mean, just as a receiver, he gets you 19 points in a full PPR league. Really nothing changes. This is exactly what we've seen with the Jets all year. Breece Hall is going to get pretty much all the volume as the rusher. Garrett Wilson is going to get a ton of volume as a receiver. Those are two players that we are starting each and every week, despite how bad this offense is. And of course, if Rodgers was fully healthy, you probably would have Breece as a player that's even better. Now, going over to what we have with the Browns, this is a situation that changes regularly. Now, while Kareem Hunt, Pierre Strong do log a total of 14 carries in this game, Jerome Ford's still the lead back, but at the end of the day, you're still not super excited about Jerome Ford, just given what you have with Kareem Hunt's usage in the red zone. He does vulture a rushing touchdown here at the start of this game, but Ford is able to overcome it, similar to what we saw early in the season against Pittsburgh in that game that Chubb goes down. Jerome Ford, big play as a 50-yard receiving touchdown. His other reception goes for another receiving touchdown. So despite Hunt taking a little bit in the red zone, Ford still goes out there, totals over 100 yards, and has multiple touchdowns. If you started Ford, bravo. To be honest with you, I didn't really start Ford anywhere. I wasn't super excited about him. David Njoku, with both of our teams on Underdog this week, we are currently sitting with Njoku. Helps us out a ton. I was really excited at the beginning of the game, of course, when he goes out there and he absolutely dominates, but slows down the stretch, which is disappointing. Elijah Moore sees a concussion in this game, so there's a chance that Amari Cooper is playing with no Elijah Moore next week, blah, blah, blah. Nobody here should be playing fantasy football next week, so that shouldn't matter too much. But yeah, congrats if you started Ford. I think if you had David Njoku, everybody started him. And congrats if you started Flacco. I mean, this was a brutal matchup for Joe Flacco. I would have never started him going up against the Jets with no Amari Cooper. But if you, rode with the hot hand, 309 passing yards, and gets you the 3 passing touchdowns as well, which is absolutely incredible. But I think that should be it for the recap. Let me go ahead and see if we have any questions. And as I do that, please let me remind you, if you have not done so already, hit that like button. I'm sorry we're not uploading too many videos on the channel at this point of the year. We will get y'all a rankings video that drops tomorrow, but I'm going to be spending the majority of my time turning over to Dynasty Fantasy Football so we can prepare for our off seasons and get our teams in order. And of course, if you want to check out my videos as the off season goes on, Find that on the Dynasty Football Flock YouTube channel. We'll be uploading pretty much there every single day. And also, if you wanted to check out any pick'ems on Underdog Fantasy or get in drafts with us in the offseason, you can, of course, find that link, as always, in the description and the comment section. Underdog is the same place right now. We are crushing in drafts. Fingers crossed. There's a lot of football still to be played, but they have pick'ems. My favorite pick'ems are going to be Jahmyr Gibbs for more than 77.5 total yards against Dallas. Nico Collins for more than 59.5 total yards against Tennessee. And if you use promo code FLOCK on Underdog, you're going to get a 100% deposit match plus our Dynasty Fantasy Football rankings and a Dak Prescott special pick'em more than less than half a total yard, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go ahead and let's dive into some of these questions. Our first one coming out from Dave says, PBR, 2 running backs, 2 flex spots. We have Jones, Keenan, Chase, Henry, JTZ, Chandler, Achane. Does the decision change if Keenan and Chase are healthy? Also, Ferguson, Schultz, or likely at tight ends? I am honestly probably going to pivot our answer to Ferguson. If you would have asked me earlier in the week, I maybe would have said Schultz, but I mean, right now you just have a 29.5 point implied team total for Dallas. It's hard to get away from that offense. I think we're going to be going with Aaron Jones, we're going to go Jonathan Taylor, Ezekiel Elliott as our running backs. And if Keenan and Chase are going to go, we'll go Keenan and Chase. If one of them misses, we'll go with the other guy that plays. And our backup number 1 will be Jones. And our backup number 2 will be Achane. Matt says, my Poodle 3 finals team somehow dried Cup and both Washington receivers. Very unique. Hoping to finish the weekend a much richer man. Good luck this weekend. Good luck, my man. Clearly, you have an interesting spot. I know it's nice having the unique Washington guys. It would be better if they didn't have that matchup going up against San Fran, but wishing the best of luck. We have obviously seen ceiling performances from them before. Sloan Dog says, CJ or Stafford, both great matchups. We need the highest ceiling player. Played versus Stafford in the Browns special teams. Also, do we play Diggs or Aaron Jones? Thanks, please. Thank you. I'm going to go Diggs, even if clearly we have lower expectations than we previously did. And I'm going to go CJ Stroud over Matthew Stafford, despite Matthew Stafford being one of the hottest players in the NFL at this point. Jordan says, Sad Brees, CMC, Gibbs, JT, Lamb, Rice, Chase, 2-2 and a flex. We're going to go with CMC, JT at running back. We're going to go Lamb, Rice at receiver, and we're going to go Gibbs at the flex. And to be honest with you, I probably would have played CMC, Gibbs, and JT over Brees as well. So I don't think you should feel too bad. Now, Reed says, Happy BR is 16-team league. We have Stafford, Kyler. Yes, go Staff. A Lamb, Puka, Henry, Swift, Kincaid versus Chig. I'm going to go Kincaid. I understand that going off the past 2 weeks, that looks like a bad call. Achane, Locke, or Deontay in the flex. I will go Achane. I understand going off the past 2 weeks, that looks like a bad call. And I'm probably going to go ahead and play Denver there at defense. I actually think maybe this team kind of rallying around the fact that they bench Russ. I think Denver could play well this week. Obviously, a great matchup that they have going up against the Chargers. But Sloan Dog says, played versus Stafford in the Browns DST. Okay, that's worse, my friend. Definitely worse if you went up against Flacco in the Browns DST. Now, Seth says, full PBR, 1, 2, 2, 1, and 1. We're looking at Stafford, Love. Give me Stafford. Bijan, Kyron, Cook, Achane. Give me Kyron, Cook. Lamb, DJ Moore, Higgins, Godwin, Pickens. We're going to go Lamb, DJ Moore. Go with Bijan Robinson for the flex, even if Chase were to miss. And then I'm going to be going Dalton Kincaid at tight ends. Clearly, we need to have lower expectations than we previously did, though. Derek says, need a receiver and a flex and a happy BR. We have Flowers, Reed, Dobbs, Pacheco, Clyde-Edwards-Helaire, Osborne, DeMarcus Robinson. Our wide receiver will be Flowers, and then our flex will be the starting running back for KC, which will most likely be Clyde-Edwards-Helaire. Now, Who Are You says, traded Waddle for Brees almost 3 months ago in week 4, and people clowned me, just carried me to the championship and dropped 23 points. And congrats, my friend. Congrats. Riggy says, start Everett or Juwan. I'm probably going to go Everett with every injury that you have in that offense. And then the Bears, Broncos, or Raiders defense. I'm going to go with the Broncos defense in a good matchup against the Chargers. Now, David says, well, Mason, I appreciate the help throughout the season, and we made it to the championship. Our team in a full BBR league is Tua, CMC, JT, St. Brown, Olave, Ingram. The flex is Diggs. And then on the bench, we have Goff, Walker, Jacobs, Cooks, Waddle, any moves. Now that Waddle looks like he's most likely going to miss this week, I think I would actually play Goff over Tua. Very rarely am I ever saying that, but I think we do here. And then outside of that, not necessarily. I think that we leave this team as is. If it was a non-BBR format, we could consider a running back there in the flex full BBR league. Just swap the quarterbacks, or at least I would. Can everybody spam the chat? Would you want Goff versus Dallas, or would you prefer Tua versus Baltimore with no Jalen Waddle? Please spam the chat. Are you going to go Goff or Tua? Now, Tropic says rank Najee, Chandler, ETN. We're going to go ETN, Chandler, Najee. And Hunter, Kraft, Thomas, Conklin. Conklin already played, no? Probably going to go Thomas, Kraft, then Hunter. Actually, no, Thomas going up against San Fran. So we'll go Kraft, Hunter. Kraft, Hunter, Thomas. But all the tight ends are complete dart throws. Just trying to figure out who scores touchdown. Yeah, it looks like most people in the chat agree with us as well to go ahead and take Jared Goff over Tua. So yeah, I think you go Goff. Now, Corey says, 10-team PBR start 1-1-1. We have Jacobs, Allen, Addison, Deontay, Flowers, JSN, Samir. We're going to go with the starting running back for the Raiders as our RB. At wide receiver, we are going to be taking Allen if he plays. If he doesn't, we'll go Flowers. And then we have White. And we're going to go White at running back, Allen at receiver. The starting running back for the Raiders at the flex. And if Allen doesn't play, pivot to Flowers. And if Flowers doesn't play, pivot to Addison. Brian says, Dynasty question. I'm considering trading Jefferson for Amon-Ra and McBride. What are your thoughts? I would much prefer Jefferson. Amon-Ra's the top 5 wide receiver for me. McBride's the top 5 tight end. I just think that Jefferson is in a tier that I'm only selling him if it is a clear W. I think it's a fair trade on paper. But if I'm selling Justin Jefferson, I'm not selling him for a fair trade. I want to be the clear winner of that deal. Joel says, Super Bowl full BBR, need a running back and a flex. Collins, Singletary, Zamir, Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Najee. We're going to be going with Collins and Singletary. Regardless of injury status, Collins and Singletary. Cody says, if Pacheco's out, where do you rank Clyde Edwards-Helaire? I'm going to have Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a low-end RB2. We have our flex rankings coming out tomorrow, and CH is at 45. We have start 3, ETN, Gibbs, Cook, Pollard, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Can't wait to learn about Dynasty. Appreciate you, my friend. We're going to go with Gibbs, Cook, Pollard. ETN's close. I'm actually going to go ETN. Y'all are going to absolutely hate where I rank ETN this week. I think ETN's someone that we want to be starting. It's a beautiful matchup going up against Carolina. People are going to think I'm way too high on him. Now, Alex says, a full BBR, Hawkinson out, Everett, Schultz, or Chig. We're going to go with Schultz. And at quarterback, Baker or Love, give me Baker. Running back, Jones, Pollard, White, give me White. And then the flex, the remaining RB or JSN, we'll go with Pollard. Y'all are going to hate where I rank Pollard as well, with no Dowdle in what should be the second highest scoring offense of the week. Austin says, Stroud or Fields? Give me Stroud. Also, start 2 between Pollard, Javonte, Chuba, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Zamir White. Give me Pollard, and then your call between Javonte, Chuba, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you look at where I have these guys right now, I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 45, Javonte at 47, Hubbard at 52, all in the same tier in our flex rankings. So most likely Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but for the love of God, please play Pollard. Only Fantasy Card says 10-team, 6 PPR. Pick a quarterback. Stroud, Love, Stafford. Give me Stroud. All have wide receiver stacks with Brown, Dobbs, Puka. I'd say Puka is definitely the best stack. Don't play Noah Brown just because you're playing Stafford. playing Stroud. Mark says Schultz or Kincaid or Pitts. Give me Schultz. And then Pickens or Osborne. Give me Pickens. View Blue says, assuming Addison plays. If you have no Addison, then I think go Osborne. View Blue says, which defense should we start? The Eagles, Cowboys, Miami, Raiders, Chargers, or Texans? Let's go ahead and let's pull up implied team totals here. We're looking at a lot of teams. Also, do you have any advice for streaming kicker this week? I wish I did, my friend, but to be completely honest with you, I don't. And then thanks so much for your content this season, Hookamorans. Hookamorans, my friend, I really wish I could help you out with kickers, but I probably haven't played in a league with a kicker in it since like 2017. Something ridiculous. I got rid of all my leagues with kickers. I could probably name 10 to 15 kickers in the NFL. If I'm being generous, I probably couldn't even get to that, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm just completely clueless with kickers. I spend literally zero time looking at them, zero time talking about them. If I try to do anything for you, I'd just be doing you a disservice. So I'm sorry. Miami and the Cowboys defenses are unplayable this week in my mind, going up against Detroit and going up against Baltimore. The Raiders defense has been on fire. Not excited about it. However, Houston is a 4.5 point favorite over Tennessee. Tennessee is a 19.5 point implied team total. Los Angeles is a 3.5 point dog, where Denver has a 20.5 point implied team total. So if I was playing a defense there, I'd kind of want to say Houston. But the issue is Houston has pretty much their entire defense banked up. So I'm not sitting here acting like I'm super excited to play the Houston Texans. I'd way rather play like the Denver Broncos defense out of this list, if I'm going to be honest. Even though obviously this is a team that really hasn't scored a lot of points, they just have a good matchup. Okay. Now, BB says, 2 receivers, 1 flex, full PPR. Smith, Hopkins, Diggs, Zeke, JT. We're going to go with JT for the flex, and our 2 receivers are going to go Smith and Diggs, even if we got to lower our expectations with Diggs. Fear says, why no rankings this week? We've been focusing on the Dynasty channel, to be completely honest with you. We will have a flex rankings video coming out tomorrow. I just felt like for the championship, pretty much everybody knows what to do at this point. It's week 17, not a lot's changing. Really, the only thing is there are a lot of injury news pieces. I couldn't really make rankings back on Monday when there were so many injury things up in the air. So, yeah. And also, I kind of want to give the editor a little bit of a break, at least a few days off around Christmas. Let the man have somewhat of a life. I don't want to be a complete ass. But Young Dolly says, currently in the toilet bowl, the season's lost. Next season is going to be the one, I promise. Well, I'm wishing you the best of luck in the toilet bowl, my friend. Hopefully you're not bringing home the Sacco. But Jared says, JSN, London, Judy. We need to start 2. We're going to go with JSN and London, but JSN's not fully healthy, so continue to monitor. Owen says, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a flex, full BBR. Who should we start at wide receiver and who at the flex? Chase, Waddle, London, Addison, Hopkins, Kyron, Etienne, White, Connor. Go Kyron, Etienne, White as our 2 running backs and our flex. Waddle's most likely going to miss, so we're going to go Chase, London. If Chase misses, then we'll have to play Addison. I mean, honestly, right now there's still a lot up in the air when it comes to the receivers and their health. Just please make sure you are playing your running back in your flex spot. Now, Big Bobby says, start 3, Dobbs, McLaurin, Osborne, Samuel, and Ty Chandler. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be taking Dobbs, assuming Christian Watson misses, McLaurin, and Chandler. I'm not excited about McLaurin, though. Brutal matchup against the Niners. Tommy says, Kyler, Fields, or Tua. I'm going to be going with Fields. And then Puka or JT. I'm going to go with JT, even though Puka is on absolute fire. Reed says, I really need to hear your reasoning for Dalton Kincaid. I mean, with Kincaid, right now, I believe you have a 27-point implied team total for the Buffalo Bills. So while Kincaid's not necessarily a player that's going to see the same level target share that he had earlier in the year with no Dawson Knox, still a player that's playing in an offense that has a lot of points to go around. He has touchdown upside. Ultimately, if you're looking at that range of tight ends, really the only thing we're chasing is a touchdown. So if we're looking at like the starting tight end in Tennessee, where that offense projects scoring 19 points compared to Buffalo at 27, even if we have maybe a slightly smaller target share, I'm going to take the guy that we've seen the production from this season that does have the touchdown upside as well. BB says, Kyler Stroud, thank you for everything this season. No, thank you, my friend. I mean, I'm going to go Stroud. Yeah, you just have Kyler as like an 11-point dog here. I don't necessarily know how excited we can be about that. Dominic says, who do we start at the flex? Eckler, Addison, Deontay, Jacoby, DeMarcus Robinson. Need my first league reading place. Let's not overthink it. While he's been bad, while he definitely was not worth the first round pick this year, do not start DeMarcus Robinson over Austin Eckler in your fantasy football championship. Just go ahead and play Eckler there, my friend. Porter says, in my championship, thanks to you, Evans or Rice this week. Take it home. Go Dogs. My friend, thank you so much and congrats on all the success. I have Evans at 17 and Rice at 21 in my flex rankings this week. My issue with Rice is this is a game going up against Cincinnati where they don't necessarily need to push the pace of play in the second half. So I would more so want to play Evans in what could be a little bit of a competitive game. While at the same time, obviously, we have the long track record of production from Evans. Chief Perp, happy to see us, says the championship's here. Baker, Hill, Puka, Zeke, Singletary, Likely, Flex, Nico. On the bench, we have Connor, Jacobs, Kincaid, Zamir, Flowers, Godwin, Chandler. Any changes? The only thing I would consider is possibly playing Jacobs over Singletary. That's under the assumption Jacobs is good to go. That's not something we know right now, so we'll have to continue to monitor. But that would only be something we'd consider. I'd be completely fine if you wanted to go Singletary and say, hey, he's healthy. We know he's going to get offense. And Jacobs, we can't say either one of those things. Okay. Now, Otropic says if Pittman misses, start Downs, Michael Wilson, or DeMarcus Robinson. I'll go Downs if Pittman misses. Brazy says PPR 17, 18-week ships. Started running back at a flex. Eckler, Jacobs, White, Chandler, Terry. We're going to go Eckler, Jacobs. Jacobs misses, go White. We have CMC. Should we grab Mason or Mitchell as a backup for week 18? I know it sucks. I don't know, my friend. I would say probably Mason, and I drafted Elijah Mitchell all offseason. Like Elijah Mitchell is someone I wasted a lot of money on this year, thinking that he would have a role in this offense. And if you were to see an injury to CMC, he would be a league we couldn't have been more wrong in that call. Cheap Burp says, also appreciate everything you've done, homie. Helped me get to my first championship. Looking forward to next season. Here's to you, my friend. No, thank you so much for just hanging out with us so many nights through the course of the year, my man. And we had like 245 days in a row that we live streamed. And I would not have been able to get through it without y'all. So thank you so much for just coming out and hanging out with us so often, my man. Now, Wallace says, PBR start 2. Adams, Reed, Raheem, or Zeke. I'm going to go with the running backs. We're going to go with Raheem, Zeke, full BBR format. If you wanted to pivot to Adams, you can. I don't know. Now, Jason says, start the Raiders or Cowboys defense in the championship. Thanks, bro. Thank you. I mean, I understand that the Raiders have been great, right? But right now you have the Colts with the 23.5 point implied team total. The Raiders are actually dogs in this game. So I'm probably going to go with Dallas' defense, even though I'm not excited about either. Mel Bailey says, Mason, I did not get a chance to get your input, so I trusted my guts. I played 4 because the Jets' soft run defense. Full BBR got me 40. Now my other running back, Montgomery, Jones, Chandler, Warren. I play it safe and go with Montgomery here if I'm you, my man. And I will say, thank God you did not ask me. Because if you would have asked me, I would have said Aaron Jones and Dave Montgomery. So, yeah, whatever I say on the rest of this, probably you should not listen to. So I would have told you to bench Jerome Ford. Great call, my friend. Also, DSC, Jacksonville or the Rams? I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Jacksonville, one of the best defenses you can play this week. And then Geno or Lawrence? I'm going to go with Geno just based off Lawrence looking injured. And also, Lawrence is someone that they're not really going to have to push the pace of play with or push the passing volume in the second half. Going up against Carolina, they should boat race him. Now, Matt says, have BBR start 2, Montgomery, DK, Higgins. I'm going to go Montgomery, DK, assuming Chase misses. If Chase plays and you want to pivot from DK to Higgins, I wouldn't fault you for it. Ty says, 2 receivers, 2 flex, full BBR championship game. Pittman, Olave, Noah, Chase, JT, Zeke, Pollard, Mostert. Thanks for everything. Thank you. Our 2 wide receivers, we're going to go Pittman and Olave. Our 2 flex spots, we're going to be going with JT and Pollard. I know it's crazy to say Pollard here. It's just a beautiful matchup. Right now, Dallas projects out to be the second highest scoring offense in the NFL. You have no Dowdle as well. So I think Pollard remains someone that you are probably having to start every single week. Now, Flock Soldier, happy to see it, says, Hogan, my man, we are in the semis. Start 2-2, a tight end and a flex. Okay, so it looks like there are more people that are playing in week 18 than I thought. So here's what I'll do, my friend. I'm not going to make videos in week 18. I just simply can't do it. There'll be so much up in the air that, trying to make videos days before, pretty much impossible. What I can do, however, is I can live stream Sunday morning, week 18. I'll live stream Sunday morning. But anyway, Hill, Ridley, Hopkins, ETN, Swift, Montgomery, Gus, Waller, Kincaid, Raiders, Rams, Jags. Give me the Jags defense. Give me Waller at tight ends. Give me Tyreek, Ridley at receiver. Give me ETN, Swift at running back. Give me Montgomery in the flex spot. And then, I think that's a safe spot to be. Now, Simon coming out saying, Happy BR team is Stafford, Jet, Cup, CMC, Kyron, King. Pick 2 from Sutton, Warren, Dobbs, Shaheed, Robinson. We're going to be going with Sutton if he plays. Then, honestly, probably Dobbs. If Sutton doesn't play, then go Warren. And then at tight end between Schultz, Henry, Everett, I'm going to go I will take Dalton Schultz. Car Guy Ty says, championship, play Derek Carr or play Browning. If Chase plays, give me Browning. If Chase sits, give me Carr. Mears says, full BBR, should I have Puka, Smith, Olave, Evans? Who do we set? We're going to be playing Evans, Puka. Then between Olave, Smith, I do think that it's going to be up to you. I probably go Olave over Smith. But if you look at my rankings, I have Olave 31 and Smith 32 in our flex rankings. Now, April, happy to see it, says, Mason, you rock, made it to the finals. Hell yes, let's go. In the Pomeranian Superflex, our quarterbacks are toast. Oh my gosh, I am sorry to hear that. If those are your quarterbacks and you have those dead spots in a tournament that large, I'm sorry. Very, very little to any hope at all. So I'm very sorry to hear that. Incredible accomplishment, though, just getting to the finals in 2 leagues. I'm sure I did a lot more drafts than you did. And I'm freaking pumped that I got to the finals in 2 leagues. So I'm assuming you did significantly fewer drafts than I did. So I think you should feel very proud about, or I'm just very bad, one or the other. I think you should feel very proud about getting there. But Adam says, Bijan, JT, Barkley, Pollard. We got to sit one. I'm going to sit Bijan. 17-point implied team total for Atlanta. 29.5-point implied team total for Dallas. Similar market share numbers. Pollard may actually have more opportunities considering the fact that I don't know. You have no Dowdle. So yeah, I'd probably play Pollard over Bijan. And you know, it pains me to say that. But I think that should be it for this live stream. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of housekeeping things. Not really going to be uploading here anymore. We do have flex rankings coming out for y'all tomorrow. But then after that, really just going to be sticking to what we have on the Dynasty Football Flock YouTube channel. So you can just search that on YouTube if you're interested in our stuff through the offseason. Second thing is we will have a Flock Fantasy meetup in Austin, Texas in about 2 weeks. So if any of y'all need to request off from work, if you want to go, blah, blah, blah. Obviously completely free. It's going to be at Zilker Park, January 13th in Austin, Texas. I'll post the exact time, the exact info and everything on Instagram, on Twitter. I'll probably say it in another video here. Another live stream soon. And last thing is, of course, my favorite underdog pick'ems this week are going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, more than 77.5 total yards in a game where they should be trailing and having a pass against the Cowboys. Nico Collins for more than 59.5 total yards as well. And if you want to check out any of those pick'ems over on Underdog Fantasy, you can find that link in the description, in the comment section. There you can also get a Dak Prescott special pick of more than less than half a total yard with promo code FLOCK. Also with code FLOCK, get our rest of season fantasy football rankings tiers, our Dynasty fantasy football rankings and tiers and get into some leagues so you can be sweating week 17 with us next season. And Max, last thing, Happy BRSR2, Flowers, Rice, Smith. Give me Rice and Smith, my friend. But thank you again. I really do appreciate y'all and really hope we get to see you out with the live stream Saturday morning. I don't know if I'm going to live stream tomorrow night, to be honest. Yeah. No, we'll just do Saturday morning.